Hi there, Rick here. I was just uh trading this morning and wanted to talk about this company here, okay? Um there's the stock symbol right there, BBLG, Bone Biologics Corp, okay? It's trading at $2.84 right now. It's up 77 cents or 0.37%. Has a volume of 120 million shares were traded already today, okay? Its market cap is 5.10 million, okay? Now, okay, there's a chart for it right there, okay? Um, just want to bring up this here. Okay, so you can see that, okay, it's 4:06, what is it, Eastern time. It's 4:06 Eastern time right now, okay? I'll put my mouse pointer on it, okay? The market's closed because it usually closes what? 4 o'clock Eastern time or 1 p.m. Pacific time, okay? Now, I know that, okay, I just wanted to show you something here. Okay, so this is shaded in gray. Okay, that's the when the market is closed. Okay, the early morning hours. You could see that there was a lot of activity in it. Okay, and when it opened, okay, it it dropped down to what, 263, and then made a huge spike. Went up to what, $4.13. So what is that? 373. Okay. If you bought 1,000 shares, okay, at 263, okay, if it went up, what, $1, okay, you would have made 1,000 US dollars, okay, but it went a lot higher than that. Like I say, it went up to 413. So just wait, I'm just figuring out some numbers in my head here. Yeah, so if you were sold near the top, you would have made close to 1,500 US dollars. Okay. Um, Sometimes too, okay, when okay, you have to know how to use this app. Okay, like I mean, it took me what, probably few months, maybe even a year to get used to this app, right? Um, so if I looked in my market movers tab, okay, there he is right there, market movers, okay. Um, this stock would have not popped up, okay, in my market movers list. The reason why is because there was very little volume pre-market, okay. Okay, you see these volume bars, right? Um, okay, now the stock is what is it? Being added to the market movers tab because a lot of volume is moving in, right? Because I feel that, okay, certain companies, okay, yeah, they don't want to be shorted on the way up, right? So they do it this way, okay, so that very little volume is in the pre-market. Okay, you could see that there's a lot of activity, but there was not a whole lot of volume. Okay, you could also set the parameters on the on your market movers too. Okay, but this is what I find difficult. Okay, because by the time it does show up on the market movers tab, but now it's at what, up to 310. Like, you've missed half of the movement. Okay, And you have to remember too, now it's very risky, okay? Because if you jump in and it suddenly, the stock suddenly drops, right? Then you lose a lot of money, right? But I just want to talk to you how I research the companies too, okay? Bone Biologics, okay? This is just some news on it, okay? I go into my Yahoo Finance to find more about the company, okay? So they're in the business of orthobiologic products for spine fusion markets, okay? In the article, it was talking about how they found this guy, okay? And they're using him, kind of like as their test experiment, okay? Because they're what is it? He has some sort of spine injury, I guess, or maybe his disc in his back, okay? It's deteriorating, okay? So they have this we'll say it, it's kind of like a medicine pack, okay? It's called NB1, okay? It consists of, I'm just reading the article now, okay? It consists of recombinant human protein, okay? NEL-1 combined with demineralized bone matrix, DBM, okay? There's a lot of, technical stuff in here too. They use very technical terms and, technical type of names for, their bags of medicine, okay? So it's giving you talking about here. NEL-1 has several unique properties that suggest it will be ideal for treating spinal fusion trauma, osteoporosis, and other bone-related indications, and may be especially useful among so-called hard healers, okay? The potential lies in the ability to provide rapid, specific, and guided control over bone regeneration. We are optimistic that NB1 may provide an important alternative to vexing clinical problem by improving the safety profile of osteopromotive orthobiologic, okay? It's smart what these companies are doing too, because these companies know these people, okay? Now I'm talking about the CEO of the company, okay? They know that there's an unmet medical need in the medical industry, right? So now they're creating a company that addresses that, shortfall, okay? Medical need in the, in the treatment of, things to do with health and the body, okay? And, they convince people out there, okay, in the public, okay, of what they're doing. And then, people hop aboard, right? They buy shares in the company, right? I just wanted to make another example, okay? I remember when Jack Ma was visiting United States, okay? Alibaba, okay? Jack Ma said to the guy who was showing him around United States, introduce him to some banks, right? And then, because he was trying to get a loan, right? And, at the end of the, end of the day, or end of the week, Jack Ma said to him, you know what? I like you. I like to sell so many shares at this specific price to you, okay? And the guy knew that his company, Jack Ma's company, wasn't doing well, so he didn't buy any of the shares. But he worked it out afterwards. He would have been $25 million richer, okay? So, you just don't know sometimes, okay? But, there was a person by the name of Yoshimashi-san, okay? I've seen him on the front cover of Forbes and stuff like this, right? He invested $20 million. Yeah, $20 million into Alibaba. Paid him out about as much as $60 billion. Yeah, that much money. Okay. And, they were just saying how, that was probably one of his smartest investments that he ever made. Okay. The guy, Yoshimashi-san, owned as much as what? 25% of the world's internet at one time. Okay. He also owned, what is it? Some sort of microprocessor type of chip company, and it was, it's really, you need a lot of money to do something like that, open up those microchip type of companies. But yeah, he's just a very interesting guy. I was reading an article on him, and he was a very interesting man. Okay, but back to the story again. Okay, so they're was it they have some other test subjects too that they're using this NEL-1 medicine on too. Okay, and if it shows positive results, okay, it's gonna be, kind of like introduced into the medical market. Okay, and this NEL-1, right, will be available for people that have some sort of spinal injury, right, or spinal trauma. Maybe they're in a car accident, right, they have a spinal injury, right, and then they're taking this medicine to heal themselves now, right. So I was just going to say that, okay, there's a lot of potential, for this company, right? And, it's going to be, reflected in the stock price, okay? If this, if this test subject and the other test subjects show positive results. Okay. Is reading the article, saying how, they raised about $5 million. So there's some people with some very deep pockets, right? That is, putting a lot of money into this. Okay. See right there in the article. Okay. It says first in human study. Okay. What is it? Okay. So the study is assessing two concentrations NB1 relative to autograft control up to 30 subjects. Okay, so they're not just testing one person. They're testing, up to 30 people. Okay. The study. Okay. Now I'm reading an article. Okay. The study primary clinical endpoints include fusion success and 12 to 24 months after surgery, okay, and change from the baseline, okay, Oswestry Disability Index, which is the gold standard tool to measure a patient's functional disability. While the clinical trial enrollment has been slower than anticipated, we do expect to complete enrollment by the end of the year, okay. So they're really pushing for this, for this, well, I'll just call it, NB1 bag medicine, to see, if it is improving people's ability to heal, right? See, www.bonebiologics.com. Okay, that's their website. So I already looked in here, okay? Okay, this is what their website looks like a bit, okay? Bone repair and regeneration, okay? So, this lady, looks like a nurse, okay? She has a spine in her hand. She's pointing at, part of the spine with her pen, okay? You see that there? Okay. And then, okay, it says here what we do, okay? Okay, at Bone Biologics, we're transforming bone regeneration with NEL-1, okay, our proprietary recombinant human protein growth factor, okay? I'll just say that that's their, a bag of medicine that they're trying to use to to help people heal. Okay, the first in-human study, okay, is now underway, um, with powerful and potent growth factor has been shown in animal models to enhance both quantity and quality of bone. So when they say here, okay, our inhuman, our first inhuman study, okay, so they're not testing this medicine on a human person yet. Okay, they're using what is it, animal models. Okay, probably, I don't know, maybe rats, right? And they're injecting it with their now one um, bag of medicine to see, if it actually helps um, the little mouse to heal, okay, or the rat to heal, okay. Um, efficacy, okay, accelerates spine fusion or fracture healing, okay. So there's even, was it, people with broken bones, okay, and they're using this bag of medicine on them too, okay. They're now one proprietary bag of medicine, okay. And then they're talking about safety here as well, okay. Forms bone only in targeted areas without inducing inflammation or unwanted bone formation. So they're just targeting the certain area that is injured, okay. So it doesn't affect other areas of the bone, okay. Definitely you don't want that, right? Because say for instance, there's nothing wrong with another part of the bone in the body, and suddenly, this medicine is affecting that area. It's causing, other parts of the bone to mutate and grow, okay? And it says here, okay, we are conducting a pilot clinical study with NB1 as a bone graft, okay, substitute for spine fusion patients, with the goal of providing rapid, specific, guided bone regeneration. NB1 is comprised of RH-NEL1 plus demineralized bone matrix, okay. Okay, now they're showing diagram, okay, bones going, okay, down the entire spine of the person's body, okay, and then it gets connected to this area here. I don't know what this specific name for this area down here, but I know it goes to the base of the skull, the spine, okay. Now, okay, you see that they're showing a diagram here, okay. It says spinal fusion, okay, and then you could see that there's some sort of grafting device here, okay. I can see two screws going into the spinal cord, okay. And then it says here, okay, pedicle screws and rod, okay. So they're sticking a rod to connect these two vertebrates, okay. So, it says right here, okay, spinal fusion. So I guess, okay, the spine in this area actually got damaged somehow, okay, or maybe even it broke, okay. Now they have to connect it with a rod and screws to connect it back together, okay. You have to remember too, our bodies are very unique, okay. What I mean by that is that sometimes to other people heal better than other people, okay, and sometimes people body, okay, it'll react better to medicine, okay, compared to some other people, okay. I don't know why. It's just the way it is, right? It's just like, okay, some people are catching COVID, some other people are not catching it, right? Maybe some people are more immune to COVID, for example. Okay. Um, so it's very interesting. Okay. So I see in their website here, okay, bone biologic, uh, bone biologics. Okay. Um, Number 2, Burlington Woods Drive, Suite 100, Burlington, MA. I think it stands for Massachusetts. 01803. There's their phone number. There's their email address. Okay. And then in their website here too. Okay. Okay, you can click on About Us. About Us. Okay, it just talks more about their company, telling the public what they do, their products, their investors, their newsroom. Okay, you can also contact them too. Okay, because I think they're trying to find investors. Okay, that believe in their company, right? Believe in their bag of medicine. Okay, but it's very interesting, okay, what this company does, okay, and their share is what, trading around $2.97 right now, okay. It shot up about $1.90, about 90 cents, okay. But I just wanted to give you a breakdown of how I researched some different companies, okay. And then also on the chart, I look back on, what the stock has done over time too, right? See if there was any stock splits, things like that, right? So I hope you found this interesting because, it's very educational too, okay? Maybe somebody, or maybe somebody in your family, has some sort of spinal injury, okay, and a company that has invented a new type of a bone repair and regeneration, right? You have to remember too, the people that have invested a lot of money into this company too, right? They come out a winner. They're a lot more wealthier, right?